Hello and welcome everyone to today's session. On the occasion of International Day of Yoga, Isha Foundation is offering various sessions, webinars on yoga and well-being around the world. Before we start, we wanted to share with you a message from Sadhguru on International Day of Yoga.
Namaskaram, once again, 7th International Day of Yoga, 7th anniversary of this wonderful possibility of yoga being acknowledged as a science of inner well-being. Not a religion, not a belief system, not a philosophy or ideology, but the science of inner well-being. As there are sciences for external well-being, this is a science for inner well-being. On this day, over 15,000 years ago, Adi Yogi turned south. As the sun's trajectory in relation to the planet turns south on this day, it's called the semi-solstice. On this day, he turned south and began to propound the science of yoga. So this is a day that's been declared as International Day of Yoga. This particular International Day of Yoga is more significant than ever before. Simply because of the pandemic, we have realized as a generation of people how our lives can be just turned upside down. All of a sudden, without warning, the pandemic. So at a time like this, building a vibrant and resilient body, a joyful and focused mind, and indefatigable sense of energy within you is most essential to fight these external invasions, which scientists are predicting may happen again and again. Still, the pandemic is not over. We cannot say this is post-pandemic. This is pandemic season still. Already we have seen 2 waves in India and across the world, also in many different countries. The authoritative voices in this arena of life of virology are saying this could last much longer than we have imagined. So, it's extremely important that we build a system, we build a body which is resilient and a mind which is balanced and exuberant so that we can go through these rigors of life with least amount of distortions to our lives. So yoga is a tremendous possibility. Yoga is not a simple form of exercise, this is a complex mechanism, understanding the mechanics of human existence, how we are made and how we can take it to the highest possibility. The word yoga literally means union, that means we consciously obliterate the boundaries of our individuality to know the universal nature of our existence, how being here as a tiny little piece of life that we are in this cosmos, we are capable of experiencing the cosmos. Being here in this moment of time, we are capable of experiencing the eternal nature of this existence. This is a possibility that India offers to the rest of the world. Well, of course, there are health benefits, there are various other aspects that even to fulfill the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, this can be a very effective tool. Healthcare should go. Health and well-being, we must understand, can only come from within us. Doctors and scientists can help us when we are sick. But health is not something that'll ever come to us from a doctor or a medical professional. It is something that has to come from within us. If we understand this, health does not mean just being disease-free, health means you're at the peak of life. In terms of body, in terms of mind, in terms of emotions and energies, you are at the very peak possibility of your existence. This is health and we should not aim for anything less than that. Yoga has this potency, yoga has the necessary science and technology to deliver you there. These tools of self-transformation, these technologies for well-being must be employed by everybody in their lives. We at Isha, particularly for this pandemic situation, this pandemic world that we are in right now, we have created a small package which will enhance the immune system and also bring equanimity to your mind and vibrancy to your body. This is a very simple package, investing a few minutes a day, free of cost. It's available online. Please make use of it. It is available in full detail and depth for those who are interested, and in a simple package for those who want to just do a simple practice. It is available everywhere, free of cost, and dedicated volunteers are always on call to attend to these possibilities with you and make sure that you benefit from this. Every human being on this planet should make use of it. It's my wish and my blessing. Every one of you should bring in some aspect of yoga into your life and live a complete life. It doesn't matter, pandemic has come our way, that is the reality, but we have to come on top of this. We have to come out successfully out of this situation, not be crushed by this situation. We as human beings are capable of this. I will once again repeat that this time around, this pandemic, the sole carrier of this virus is the human being. So if human beings are into some sense of yoga, that means they have become more conscious, not a compulsive life. If this happens, controlling and restraining the pandemic, stopping it in its tracks is very much in our hands. Let's make it happen. Let's take this stand on this International Day of Yoga. We will bring yoga into our life and definitely beat the virus.
So greetings and once again welcome to all of you to this session. We are coming to you from Isha Institute of Inner Sciences in Tennessee. Since the pandemic, we've been receiving a lot of questions on food because people are trying to, hone their cooking skills and trying to make whatever possible with the ingredients that they have, especially since eating out is not the best option these days. So we've been getting a lot of questions on how to eat healthy and how to stay fit in these times. So in the yogic system, food is not about mere consumption. This is the building blocks of your body. Sadhguru says, food is not a commodity. Food is life-making material. On many occasions, Sadhguru has spoken about not only what you eat, but also how you eat whatever you eat. Because all of this decides what kind of body, what kind of mind, what kind of emotions you can create for yourself. In yoga, food is not just looked at in terms of proteins, vitamins, minerals like this. Food is also looked at in terms of prana, or that which enhances the life energy in the system. There are certain kinds of foods that can make you more vibrant, alive, it enhances the vitality and health in the system. There are certain foods that dulls you. It tends to bring down the health in terms of clarity, productivity can come down just by eating certain kinds of foods. So we look at it in terms of that which enhances the life energy or what takes away the life energy. But food is not to be made into a religion. We have to experiment with this and see what food agrees with our system and accordingly see what to consume and not to consume. So today's session, Food for Well-Being, we are going to be looking at what to eat, how to eat based on the yogic system. And also we will be sharing with you a few recipes of some tasty and nutritious recipes from Isha. Now, if you're looking at health and well-being, it's very important that you also look at what you consume and how you consume this. So one aspect is to bring in more raw food into your diet. Why raw food? Many people have spoken about the well-being and health effects of eating natural food, bringing more fruits and vegetables into your diet. Consuming more fresh food makes a very big impact on your system. Sadhguru has spoken about the impact of raw food on your system. So we wanted to share this with you.
When we say health, If someone says you have no ailment, it does not mean you're healthy. When you wake up in the morning, are you feeling alive and bouncy or not? The word health comes from the word whole. You must have a certain sense of wholeness of body, mind, energy and the fundamental nature of your existence. If all these things are in alignment, now when you wake up in the morning, you feel like you're just born. If this happens to you, that means you're healthy. One simple thing all you girls can do is just bring 40 to 50% of the food in its raw form, that means it's alive. It must be a live cell, it can be a vegetable, it can be a fruit, it can be a nut, it can be sprouted gram. At least 40 to 50%, the food that you eat must be alive. You eat dead food and you want to live, this is a little difficult thing to do, because you have to raise the dead now. When you cook the food, to digest the food, all the ingredients necessary for digestion are not in the body alone. The food also brings these enzymes. When you cook the food, you are largely destroying these enzymes. Minus the enzymes when you eat, now the body has to struggle to reconstruct that part that has been destroyed and then only it can digest. Normally first 1.5 hours after eating, it tends to take the body down. After that slowly, it recovers. Have you noticed this? So food is for energy, but we are making the food in such a way that it takes away energy in the first 1.5 hours. Only after that, slowly, it comes back. Anyway, however good your digestive process is, still you can never reconstitute all the enzymes that we have destroyed by cooking. Only partly we can do that. If your digestive process is very strong and good, you reconstitute about 40 to 50% of what's been destroyed. If it is a little timid kind of digestion, it's much less. So whichever way, if you're eating cooked food, 50 to 60% of the food that you're eating is generally going waste. But the body has to still process that. And the amount of energy that it spends and the amount of trauma that it goes through is very big. Food means many things to many people, but essentially for the body, it's the fuel. If you put the right kind of fuel, this will be on in a certain way. If you put the wrong kind of fuel, somehow it will manage. I'm not telling you eat this way, eat that way, just experiment and see, all right? Just experiment and see. Tonight if you go, instead of eating whatever cooked food, just eat fruits and see, tomorrow morning you will not need an alarm bell, you will wake up before the alarm bell. And you will see all these eyes will not be sticking like this, like that, you wake up, instantly you're bright and alert. People do not know what it means to be at absolute ease within their body. 95% of the people do not know this, unfortunately. Because you put the wrong kind of fuel, you can keep this body like breeze. Simply, it goes ahead of you, you don't have to drag it wherever you go. It must float ahead of you. You can do this, just putting the right kind of fuel.
So Sadhguru has also shared a few simple aspects about how to eat this food in such a way that you derive the maximum from the food that you eat. So there's a simple practice or a sadhana that he has given in his book, Inner Engineering, A Yogi's Guide to Joy. We wanted to share this with you now. Just experiment. Start with 25% natural, uncooked or live food, fruits or vegetables today, and shortly push it up to 100% in about 4 or 5 days. Stay there for a day or two, and again cut it down by 10%, and another 5 days you will reach 50% raw food, 50% cooked food. This is ideal for most people who wish to be active for 16 to 18 hours a day. Remember, if you eat cooked food, it may take you 15 minutes to eat a meal. If you eat raw food, you take a little more time to eat the same quantum of food because you have to chew a little more. But the nature of the body is such that after 15 minutes, the body will tell you that your meal is over. So people tend to eat much less and lose weight. All it takes is being a little more conscious of how much you're eating. So this is something that you can experiment with just when you're just bringing in more natural food into your diet and experimenting with it. And you will see, as Sadhguru mentioned, the need for sleep will come down. You'll see that you're much more alert and vibrant. Something to experiment with. Now, Sadhguru has also spoken about how to approach the food that we eat, because that makes a very big impact on how it behaves within you. So we wanted to share this with you, what he has spoken about, how to approach the food that we eat.
So, food is not everything, but food is an important aspect of our life. How we conduct it in many ways has impact on how we live. It's quite important, how we conduct food in our lives. You're still a young man, you do what you want, but it's good to start young, but at least as you go beyond 30, 35, 40, it's very important that you become conscious of what's putting into your system. Otherwise, the body will make you pay over a period of time. Health is nothing when you have it, but when you don't have it, it means everything. Isn't it so? I didn't even know a knee existed till a week ago. I didn't know there is such a part in the body called knee. Because always this has been working fine. Now, the knee, sitting, standing, it tells you, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there. When it starts telling you, I am there, different parts of your body, it becomes very difficult. It's all functioning fine, they don't seem to be there. That's a great way to be, isn't it? Everything is going smooth. Which part of the body is where you don't even know it's fine. So, what kind of food you eat not only decides the physical aspect of your body, it also decides the very way you think and feel. You can alter the very way you think and feel just by eating differently. Above all, to eat it with a certain attitude and consume it with a deep sense of gratitude, because one life is giving up its life to make your life, isn't it? Isn't it so? Whether you eat a banana or a chicken or whatever else, one life is giving itself up to make your life, isn't it? Shouldn't you eat it with a deep sense of gratitude? Some sensitivity towards it? Very important. Because how you consume it is as important as what you consume. Just today somebody was asking, how do you take care of your protein? To tell you the truth, I don't really take care of anything. Generally, almost every day I'm in a different home. Some places people are conscious, other places they're just serving whatever they like. Whatever they offer, I just eat. Health will be taken care of because of the way you consume it, not necessarily because of what you consume. This may not sound logical to you, but it is so. How you take it in makes all the difference.
You take it in with certain reverence because it's your life. Don't see food as food. If you have not eaten, suppose you did not get food for 10 days, if food appears in front of you, or even God appears in front of you, you will ask God food, isn't it? Yes or no? Even if God comes, you will say, please God, give me food, isn't it? Food is the essence of your life right now, the basis of your life. Because you're eating 2-3 meals a day, you don't realize that. 3 days if you don't eat, you will know food is such an important thing. It's very important that you recognize everything for what it is, not miss the point of life just because life is comfortable. We shouldn't miss the point of life, isn't it so? Life is comfortable, good, enjoy it. But you shouldn't become irreverent towards life. Very, very important. Then you will see whatever you consume behaves well in you. The important thing is how food behaves in you, isn't it? It'll behave very well within you. I want you to know, only 40% of your energy comes from the food that you eat. Another 60% comes from water, sunlight and air that you breathe. So, if you are in a certain way, if you are of a certain attitude towards whole life, if you are of a certain receptivity towards whole life, then what you eat is not so very important. Yes, you eat well, but that is not what decides the quality of how your health will be. You come and see, you will see yogis in Himalayas, whatever comes they just eat, okay? Generally they're just eating bread, onion and chili. Where is the protein? No protein. They're living in such altitude, extremely cold places. And generally lot of them, during summer they stay there, in summer also it's very cold. In winters they walk down to the tip of South India, which is almost a 3,500 to 4,000 mile journey, they walk. Again they walk up every year. You look at them, they're skinny like this. You try to walk with them, you will not last. Because not all the energy that you have comes from the food that you eat.
Now we will look at another simple practice from the Inner Engineering book on how to eat. It is important not to keep eating through the day. If you are below 30 years of age, 3 meals every day will fit well into your life. If you are over 30 years of age, it is best to reduce it to 2 meals per day. Our body and brain work at their best only when the stomach is empty. So be conscious of eating in such a way that within 2.5 hours, your food moves out of the stomach, and within 12 to 18 hours, completely out of the system. With this simple awareness, you will experience much more energy, agility, and alertness. These are the ingredients of a successful life, irrespective of what you choose to do with it. So, something for you to experiment with and see. Now, Sadhguru spoke about the importance of eating raw food, and I'm sure you've heard about this also. So we wanted to share with you some simple recipes that is almost a signature of Isha. Very simple but delicious recipes we wanted to share with you now.
Hello and welcome to Taste of Isha. Today we'll be making one of our signature salads, the beet salad. It requires 3 cups of beets, half a cup of soaked peanuts, soak these for overnight, half a cup of diced bell pepper, 1 teaspoon of grated and peeled ginger, 3 tablespoons of shredded coconut, preferably fresh, 2 teaspoons of honey, the juice of 1 lemon, a tablespoon of seasoning, some cilantro, salt, and pepper to taste. Now to start off, we'll add the beets. Beets are good for us because they dilate our blood vessels, so it helps the blood flow through our system easier. Next, we'll add the soaked peanuts. Peanuts are good because they're high in protein and fat, but a healthy type of fat. Half a cup of diced bell pepper, which are high in vitamin K, helping our blood to clot, which is essential. A teaspoon of ginger. Greeks used to wrap a piece of bread around just a little short section of the ginger root, and this helped them with their digestive ailments. This is where gingerbread came from. 2 teaspoons of honey. The chemical composition of honey is the most similar thing which exists in nature to that of our blood. The juice of 1 lemon. Just pour that in. A tablespoon of seasoning. We made this seasoning in a previous video. In this seasoning is mustard seeds, urad dal, chana dal, and curry leaves. 3 tablespoons of coconut, which are high in fiber. It's preferable to use fresh shredded coconut as it tastes a lot better, but if all you can find is pre-made, that's just as fine. Finally, some cilantro, some salt, and some pepper to taste. You can add more or less of this as you desire, and we'll mix it up. It's a really colorful, flavorful salad. Like I said, it's one of our signature salads here at Isha, so if you ever come to our center, chances of getting this salad are high. And here you have it, the beet salad. Hope you enjoy.
So, one simple way to consume beets. People are usually surprised how tasty this is, fresh beet salad. If you grate the beet fine, then it tends to soak the seasoning better. It's much tastier, so you can try that. The seasoning that was mentioned, it consists of a few grams, Bengal gram, black gram, green gram. So we'll share with you a video towards the end of the webinar that you can access, and you can learn how to make the seasoning in case you're not familiar with this. Now, if you want to keep this salad for a longer period of time, it's best to avoid adding coconut to it. Now, are you ready for the next one?
Welcome to Taste of Isha. Today we're going to be making carrot sprout salad. This is a delicious raw salad. It's packed with ingredients that are full of energy and nutrition. We're going to start with carrots. This is about 3 cups of grated carrots. We've already peeled and grated these. Now, carrots are a great source of vitamins A and C as well as fiber. To our carrots, we're going to be adding about a cup of mung bean sprouts. Now, if you haven't already watched the video about how to sprout your own mung beans, you can watch that now. That's going to show you how easy this is to sprout your own mung beans at home. Now, mung beans are one of the most highly pranic foods that you can eat. Now, prana means your life energy, so it means it's giving you an energy boost, and it's also supporting your whole system. Next, we're going to add a tablespoon of the tempered spice mixture that we made earlier. It adds a lot of flavor to the dish, and it also adds a nice crunchy texture. Next, we're going to add the juice from 1 lemon and a pinch of roughly chopped cilantro. Last, we're just going to add salt and pepper to taste. You can start with about 1 teaspoon, and then you can taste it and see if you want more. A teaspoon of salt and about 1/3 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Now all you need to do is mix it together, mix up the sprouts and the carrots. This is such a colorful dish, and it's also so healthy for you. It's a beautiful salad, and it's delicious too. So once you have everything mixed together, then you can just garnish it with a little bit of cilantro, and it's done. This is our carrot sprout salad.
So one way of including carrot into your diet, fresh carrots. Again, if you can grate it finely, it will soak the flavor much better. And about the sprouts, the mung beans or the green gram sprouts, There is a simple way to sprout it. If you have a sprouting machine, you can use that. But typically, this is the mung beans before it's sprouted and after it is. So you just soak it overnight, and if you can just put it on a sprouting machine, or you can just use a cloth and allow it to sprout again for at least another 12 hours or so. It's important that it doesn't sprout too much, otherwise it could become gassy, or it's not yet sprouted, then it's better to allow it to sprout. So we'll share with you a video towards the end of the webinar about how to sprout mung beans. Now there's one more delicious recipe that we wanted to share with you. This is a very simple way to have a quick breakfast or just a snack anytime.
Hello and welcome to Taste of Isha. Today we'll be making banana nut porridge, a healthy and surprisingly delicious breakfast. We'll need 1 tablespoon of peanuts per person, 1 banana per person, a taste of cardamom, and a touch of honey. I soaked these peanuts last night. The way I did that was getting raw peanuts, just so you can buy them in the store unshelled, and covered them with water. I let them sit overnight, or 8 to 10 hours should suffice. The reason why we soak these peanuts is because if you eat them raw, they can cause some abdominal discomfort. When you soak them, they become easier to digest, and still they're raw, so they still maintain all the nutrition that they had otherwise. Today we'll be making it for 3 people. So we'll start off by taking 3 tablespoons of soaked nuts. Peanuts are really healthy for us, as I'm sure you've heard. And I'm sure you've also heard that they have a lot of fat. But the thing is, the fat that's in peanuts is all healthy fat. It's unsaturated fat. So this is a good kind of fat for us to eat. So it's good that we have a lot of peanuts. Now that I'm adding the bananas, again, that's 1 per person, so I have 3 here. Bananas are a perfect combination to have with peanuts because they're low in fat but high in potassium and vitamin C and carbohydrates. We need carbohydrates to have energy throughout the day. So these 2 together make a really balanced breakfast. We'll need a taste of cardamom, so we'll just sprinkle a little bit on top, and a bit of honey. Again, just a touch of it to make it sweet, because if you have ripe bananas, it should already be pretty sweet. Now, we simply blend. And there we have it, some delicious and healthy banana nut porridge. Enjoy.
So this is a simple drink or a breakfast meal that you can have. You can substitute the honey with, if you add dates, then you don't need as much honey. You can use less honey. It'll also add a different kind of flavor to it. In case you're using peanuts, it must be soaked peanuts. Don't use raw peanuts. Soak it overnight for a minimum of 5 to 6 hours. Then rinse it, and you can also peel it before you're using it. If you have any kind of peanut allergies, then you can use almonds instead. Again, soak it overnight, peel it, and then you can blend it along with the fruit. Now we showed you how to use bananas. You can also use any other fruits for this recipe. If you're using apples, then you'll need to peel the apples, okay? Or after you blend it, you'll have to strain it. So best that if you want the thick consistency, that you can just use it. You can peel the fruit and use. So we hope you can experiment with these 3 recipes that we shared with you, and you can come up with many others just based on your, the fruits and vegetables that you have and what you like. You can experiment. Now Sadhguru has also spoken about how to store and consume water and how that impacts your system. So we wanted to share this with you now.
The reverence and regard for the 5 elements in the Eastern cultures led to some very specific lifestyle choices for the citizens. Can you give us some specific examples of how that manifested itself for sleeping and eating and farming and parenting, and what are some specific examples of how they lived in sync with nature?
So when you say 5 elements, these are the ingredients of life. This human being is just a product of 5 elements, so is the planet, so is the whole creation. The most fundamental aspect of yoga is referred to as Bhuta Shuddhi. Bhuta Shuddhi means cleansing of the elements. So we are essentially talking about 4 elements and their manifestations. We're living the space. There are certain things which you can do with space, but it doesn't need any cleansing. So the 4 elements need cleansing. How these 4 elements behave within you will determine your health, longevity, psychological balance, spiritual possibilities, mystical access, everything is determined by how you keep the 4 elements within the system. 72% of your body is water, another 12% is earth, another 6% is air, another 4% is fire, the remaining is space. If you know how to keep these 4 elements, then your well-being, your health, your longevity, your ability to determine how long you should live and when you should live, all these things are 100% in your hands. You become a master of your own destiny. If you just control the waters in the system, phenomenal things will happen. Always there's a large focus on water because 72% of the body is water. You must understand, this body is just a product of this planet. 72% of the planet itself is water. If you want to look for life somewhere where there is no life right now or where we cannot spot life right now, the first thing we look for is presence of water. And it is the only miraculous element found on this planet which is naturally available in all the 3 states of being solid, liquid and gaseous at the same time. So, when I say water, it's interesting that today in the last probably 6 to 8 years, much research has gone into water as to what water is capable of. Today modern science has recognized that water has memory. If you give it a certain thought, this cup of water, it will remember. If you give it a positive thought or a negative thought, a positive emotion, negative emotion, it actually remembers. We've always been aware of this. So, in the East, even today, even in cities if you come to homes, except those who've been Western educated, in all their homes, water is treated in a certain way. We never drink water which straight comes out of a pipe or a fountain. We always hold it in a brass vessel or a copper vessel and we worship the water overnight and leave it there at least for 8 hours, then only we consume. Today modern scientists are saying this, if water is pumped through the pipe, if it takes 50 turns, bends, let's say it's pure nice water, 50 bends if it is forcefully pumped through the pipe, 60% of it turns in a molecular way unpalatable to the human body. It becomes poisonous in some way. The chemical structure will not change, but the molecular structure will change. If you keep it there for about 20 to 40 minutes, it will undo itself. But straight from the pump if you drink, you are causing immense damage to the system. This is modern science. We have always known this, if you bring water, you must place it in one place, they will apply certain so-called sacred paste and other things on the vessel, they will worship it, give the best thoughts to it, leave it there for some time and then only drink. Some British company has come up with this is called as a water imploder. We are trying to bring it to our farmers in India. This implodes water in a certain way and changes the molecular structure, then after that if you feel the water, it feels silky. You might have felt this. See, you feel the water in the stream, how it feels. And then let's say it falls down a waterfall, not everywhere, in some places. It falls down from a waterfall at a certain height with a certain force. After that, the same stream, you touch the water, it'll feel silky because water is imploding itself by falling with a certain force upon a rock or something. So this is done in a machine, and we find the growth rate of the plants will go up considerably. Almost 22% excess growth has been noticed with the same amount of water. Or you can reduce the water that you give to the farm by about 47% if you implode the water. The water that the plant needs will come down dramatically simply because the molecular structure of the water has changed. We live in a tropical country where it's hot and we sweat. You will never see any Indian carrying a water bottle and walking around. Here,
You can't go to the market without carrying a water bottle.
without water
here in
bottle,
LA.
they'll fall down.
Have a drink before you leave the house, folks.
So the way you treat the water is very, very important. Just constantly drinking water has many, wrong things happening in the system. If you drink a certain volume of water at once, the body will determine how much to absorb and how much not. But if you sip it constantly, body will get confused and start absorbing more than it should. So this will bring down the concentration of sodium in the blood level and a certain level of brain swelling will happen. But you will not feel headache. If you do not drink water, the sodium content increases and then there is a swelling where you will feel headache. So you think just because you have a headache, you think you must sip water. If you sip water all the time, it has various other kinds of imbalances. Excess water consumption, not just by ingestion, excess water absorption in the body will lead to various kinds of psychological imbalances. In yogic system, always there is a taboo on drinking water in between. If you drink water now, till you feel thirsty, you should not drink water. When you feel thirsty, you must wait for 15 to 20 minutes and then drink water. How much should you drink? Just to quench your thirst, another 10% more. Just in case you are not feeling things out, 10% more than what you need and nothing more. Constantly drinking water in a country which is not even warm and sweaty. So, like this, our understanding of life is all becoming accumulated knowledge, not feeling life out, not knowing life from within. Life happens from within, all experience happens from within, but we want to cull the knowledge from outside. So treating the water in a certain way, around us and within us, this is all it is. The fundamental of yoga is just this, cleansing the four elements and treating these elements with a certain reverence and a certain way of approach, because now beyond doubt it is established that water has memory. If you treat it badly, it remembers and gets back at you. It gets into you and works from inside.
Thank you so much.
So, as Sadhguru mentioned, water stored in copper vessels can help you in bringing more health and vitality, and also to remove toxins in the body. You just store water overnight or for a minimum of 4 hours in a copper vessel, then the water will imbibe the properties of copper, and this can help in a big way. Copper also has the properties like antibacterial, antiviral properties. It can kill bacteria and virus sometimes within minutes. So this water is helpful for your liver and for your general health and well-being. So water, you can also boil it, and it'll be good if you can drink hot water at least 5 to 6 times on a daily basis. You can add some honey to it. Make sure that you do not boil the honey when you're boiling the water. In lukewarm water, you can add some honey and drink it, or you can add cilantro or mint leaves, or you can add some lemon to it, and you can have hot water at least 5 to 6 times on a daily basis. we wanted to share with you some simple immunity boosting drinks. We have some recipes for this. One such is how to prepare turmeric water, something that you can have. It's a drink with turmeric. We'll just show you how to do this. So you just boil some water, and you can boil it with a little bit of ginger for about 5 minutes. Then once you turn off the heat, you can add some black pepper powder and turmeric powder. You mix it well, strain it, and towards the end you can add some lime or lemon juice. This can be taken 5 to 6 times daily. This is recommended by Sadhguru. It can boost your immunity and can be a healthy drink to have. Another tasty and nourishing hot drink is known as sukubanam or suku coffee. No, it's not coffee. This is a drink made with dry ginger. This has again a lot of properties that it can help boost your immunity and bring health and well-being. So this sukubanam, you just take a little bit of dry ginger and you can boil it along with. So the ingredients for this is ginger. If you don't have dry ginger, you can use fresh ginger, then coriander seeds, and you can use palm jaggery for taste. So just boil water and add these ingredients, and then lower the heat and let it simmer for at least 3 to 4 minutes. Then remove from heat, strain, and you can use the palm jaggery, stir it until it dissolves, and you can serve it hot. If you need to strain it, then it can be done so. But this is something that we consume on a regular basis, especially now during the pandemic when you have so much excess mucus in the system. This can help in terms of enhancing the heat in the body, and it can be very nourishing. We also wanted to share with you a few food substances that you can consume that help enhance your immunity. So one such is neem. I don't know if you've heard of neem leaves, especially if you're from India, maybe South America, Mexico, Florida also, you might have heard about neem. Neem is one unique tree which has over 130 different biologically active compounds, and it's one of the most complex leaves that you can find on the planet. So neem and turmeric, they are both antibacterial and help purify the blood and the entire body. So neem is known to curb the growth of cancerous cells in the body as well. There are various benefits. Above all, it can also help to enhance your receptivity and help you to imbibe your yoga practices better. So we also have a fresh neem leaf here to show you. So you can just take a few of these, about 8 to 10 neem leaves, and chew on it. It'll be slightly bitter, but you'll get used to it. What Sadhguru suggests is you take a few of these neem leaves and you chew on it and keep it in your mouth for at least an hour, hour and a half. So we typically, when we're doing our yoga practices in the morning, we chew on this and we keep it, and then after about an hour, hour and a half, you can just make it into a paste by chewing and swallow it. If you can't find neem leaves, you can always get neem powder, or neem capsules are also available. In Isha, we make this available. If you have neem powder, you just make it, add a little bit of water, make it into a marble-sized ball, and consume it in the morning. This must be taken on empty stomach. Again, it is antimicrobial, antibacterial, and also can help fight cancer as well. So it has a lot of immune boosting properties. Besides neem, turmeric, I think you would have heard of this. Turmeric is also something that's very highly nutritious and again antibacterial. This can be consumed also raw. You can make it into a marble-sized ball and consume this on empty stomach by mixing it with a little bit of warm water. If not, you can also, I think in the Indian cooking we use it in the meals. Turmeric could be added. We also showed you how this can be consumed along with water. Another food substance that is very, very healthy for you is amla or the gooseberry. So this is also found in mostly in tropical areas, but if you're able to find this amla or gooseberry, you can just put a little bit of salt on it and just chew on it, or again, it'll be good if you can keep it in your mouth for an hour or two before you eat it all up. If you're not able to find fresh amla or gooseberry, you would have heard of something called chavanprash or legium. This is a concoction that's about 4,000 years old. It's rich in antioxidants. It's also anti-aging formula. It's traditionally used as an elixir for longevity. So it's a strong energizer and immunity booster and promotes detoxification. So it's also good for healthy digestive system and for blood sugar, cholesterol levels. So this is a mixture made of organic amla, and it's from the Himalayas. It also has various other spices. It's a mixture that people from India are probably familiar with. Here in Isha also we have this available. So all of these, the neem, turmeric, the amla, they're all best consumed on empty stomach, and if you can consume it early in the morning when you start your day. If you find that it's very bitter, then you can also have some honey, lukewarm water with honey, and wash it down. So this is one way to consume these. So we spoke about quite a lot of things, and we also shared with you recipes. In Isha, many people have experimented with these, and they've come up with their own recipes of how to incorporate raw food. And some of the volunteers in Isha, they came up with this book called Isha, Taste of Isha, the cookbook. And Sadhguru also has written another book called Taste of Wellbeing, which explores many other recipes and also talks about various other aspects of food. So these are some resources for you if you want to access and get more details about food. There is another book called Food Body. This is an e-book. You can access this online on Isha Downloads. You can learn a little bit more about how food and the body are interconnected and how it impacts the health. And this, you can download it for free, or you can donate how much ever you wish towards this. If you have any questions about any of the raw food recipes or what immunity boosting foods and drinks that we looked at today, you can type it in your chat. So the first question is it okay to occasionally eat foods like cane sugar, processed flour? I think this almost everybody is aware of. That's why we also gave you some alternatives like jaggery. It's definitely better, palm sugar, much better to consume. Processed foods has been spoken about by many. So that's why we're suggesting, as Sadhguru is saying, try to bring in more raw food into your diet, salads, fruits, fresh foods. You can start with 25% raw food and then 25% cooked food, and then see how to increase it. And within a week, you will reach 100% raw food. diet. So if you have any kind of chronic ailments, then you can stay in this 100% raw food for a few more days, and then you can slowly cut it down. And 50% raw food, 50% cooked food will be ideal for most people. So this is something that you can experiment with. Again, you don't have to believe anybody. You experiment with this and see how it behaves in your system. Do you have any guidelines about using the blender for fruits and nuts? Is it okay to mix them with the blender? So as we showed you, the fruits and nuts, so when you're using nuts, it's better to use raw nuts, but you soak them. So if you soak them for about 5 to 6 hours, and you rinse it and peel it and use it, then you'll see that it will almost become milky when you blend it. So this is how you can consume nuts and along with fruits, so it can give you the flavor. Can males eat neem on a regular basis? Yes, can be had on a regular basis. Anybody can have it, men and women, they can consume neem on a regular basis. So in terms of this raw food, some of you may be wondering, how do I incorporate this? Because there is this idea that if it's not cooked, it will not be tasty. So you can see how to make it tasty with, as we showed you, honey, pepper, salt. You can add the ingredients, lemon, some seasoning. So we'll be sharing all of this with you towards the end, how you can do a very simple seasoning that can make the salads easy and tasty for you. And again, as Sadhguru mentioned, anything you experiment with, it'll take some time for you to become familiar with it and the system to respond, but you should be able to see the difference within a few days just by how you approach the food and how you eat the food and what kind of food you eat. It will make a big impact for your health and well-being. So if you're truly interested in health and well-being for yourself and for your children, please see how to experiment with this and see. It will make a big impact. There is more that Sadhguru has spoken about food in much more detail in the Inner Engineering online program. And this program is a complete overhaul for the body, mind, emotions, and your energy. If you're interested in complete well-being, then this Inner Engineering online program provides you various tools. You will look at, some of the fundamentals in your life that can help change the very way you approach life. The context of your life can change. How you think and feel will change. For many people, it's been a turning point in their lives. So not only we discuss about food and well-being, but so many other dimensions of life. So this is a thorough overhaul for the body, the mind, emotions, and your energy. Simple practices are also introduced to you that you can do on a daily basis. So this Inner Engineering online program, there are 7 online sessions that you can go through, and once you complete the 7 online sessions, there is also ongoing support for you. We have a few other questions. Does raw food basically mean fruits, lettuce, and nuts? Fruits, all kinds of vegetables can also be eaten. Vegetables, this person is asking, they all need cooking, right? As we just showed you, carrots, beets can be eaten raw. Like this, we have many other vegetables also that you can always eat raw. So you can refer to our Isha cookbook if you want to know more recipes. But you can at least start with the beets and carrots that we showed you, and also the banana nut porridge. Do I have to mix turmeric with oil while consuming it? Not necessarily. If you're seasoning, many times we use turmeric along with the seasoning and we can consume, but turmeric can be eaten raw as well. So if you're eating it raw, it's best to eat it on an empty stomach. So you just mix it with a little bit of water, make it into a marble-sized ball, and you can consume it. It could be bitter, so after that, if you want to, you can have some, warm water with honey. Can people with diabetes consume honey? Most of the times, we've not seen a major impact with honey. It can be consumed, but if you're concerned about it, then you can see how to, reduce. You can use alternate methods, or just fruits are sweet enough, you can consume it without the honey. Any food recommendations for people suffering from autoimmune diseases? So we shared with you some of the recipes, some of the ways in which you can enhance your immunity, the neem and turmeric, the turmeric drink. So you can try these and see how it can enhance your immunity. How can I balance my diet as a vegetarian? Is mushroom good for vegetarian? Mushroom is okay and can be had. So we showed you how, and Sadhguru also spoke about, in the vegetarian diet, lentils, all of that provides enough protein for you. And the nutrition that you get from food is only part of it. There is so much more. So this is what we discussed today. So just how you consume this, giving the sufficient break between meals, and just bringing in simple yoga, meditation practices, all of this can enhance your health and well-being. Are the turmeric and neem balls consumed before yoga practices in the morning on empty stomach? Yes, that's right. Some of you are asking about specific conditions, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, and a few things. You can write to us and we can see how to guide you for specific things. But this is not about, we're not looking at food for specific health conditions. We're looking at overall health and well-being. So just by changing the diet, what Sadhguru says is most of the chronic ailments that we have is simply because of improper eating, improper food, improper diet, and not the right attitude that we use towards the food. So this is what we looked at today. So just see how to bring these changes, and many times people are just able to walk out of these ailments just by making some simple changes in the food habits. So why don't you give this a try and see how you feel, and let's see how it impacts the chronic ailments. If you're looking for specific other additional support, then we would definitely suggest bringing in some simple yoga meditation practices. Is it okay for children to take turmeric as shown? Yes, children can also take neem and turmeric. 80% of my diet is raw vegetables and fruits, no grain and no beans. Do I need to take any supplements? No dairy, only soy milk. Anil. So one aspect is soy, they have found that it does increase estrogen into the system. So it's best not, especially for the male body, not to consume soy on a daily basis. So you could look into other alternatives like almond milk, or there are rice milk, oat milk, some other forms of milk if you wish to. But we also gave you some of these recipes just by soaking these nuts and blending them with fruit. It'll be much better for you. Is it okay to combine raw with cooked food? Best not to. Best to consume raw food first, and then you have your cooked food. Not to combine the two and eat it together, because they go through the system in a different way. So first eat your raw food, and then you can have cooked food. Can I use the soaked peanuts without peeling them? When you soak them, then it's so easy for you to peel it. So it's best if you can peel it and have it. If it's very, very fine, the peel, then it's okay. You can consume it as is. But many times when you just rinse it, most of the peel will come off, and then you can just blend the nuts. So 50% raw, 50% cooked food. I noticed digestion with cooked foods. Is there any particular type of cooked foods suggested? So cooked food also, you can see how to bring in more vegetables into your diet, lentils, and cook it just enough, not overcooking it, just enough so that it's edible. And again, you can experiment with it. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a few cookbooks that you can probably access, and we'll share this information with you. The cookbooks are available on Isha Life. We'll share the link with you towards the end of the webinar. So as I mentioned earlier, it's nice to see so many of you have joined us. Definitely you're looking for health and well-being and seeing how to enhance this even through the food that you eat. It's nice to see that you're looking towards this. So we hope whatever information we provided today was useful for you and that you will experiment with this. If you want to access the simple processes that we spoke about, then the Inner Engineering book is available online as an audiobook or an ebook, or even you can get the paperback version, and you can access these sadhanas or the practices, simple practices that we gave you today. And we definitely encourage you to access the Inner Engineering online program, where it's a complete way of looking at health and well-being through simple practices, and also just how your attitude towards life can make a very big difference in the way you live your life. For those of you who are joining us today, if you're interested in the Inner Engineering online program, there's a special discount specifically for International Day of Yoga. Isha is offering this, so you can access this via chat, and you'll also be receiving an email with more information on this discount to register and take the Inner Engineering online program. We'll also be sharing with you other links, useful links, so that you can access some of the videos to learn how to make the seasoning, how to sprout the green gram. Sprouts are really good to also enhance your energy levels, and also cools down the system. So we'll share all these links via chat, so please make sure you stay back and copy the information that is provided on chat, and you can access this at your convenience. So we hope this session was fruitful for you, and that you will begin to experiment with raw food and seeing how to give sufficient breaks between meals, how you consume water, and generally how you approach the food and with what attitude you eat this food. All of this can make a very big impact. It has impacted millions and millions of people. Those of us who've been experimenting with food this way and going by the yogic system, it has made a huge impact in our lives. So we're very happy to share this with you. So thank you all for joining. We hope to see you in our subsequent sessions on yoga and meditation.